Michaels in.
I'm tired of being humble. I'm tired of letting people think they got a chance. The tribal chief is head and shoulders above everybody.
Hey, guys, we're here at the Toxic Reign Scandal. We're here at the locker room. We will talk about Shawn Michaels, talks about retirement. We talking about Shawn Michaels forced to retire due to injury. You guys get the license. We come into the locker room. Definitely gonna air some dirty laundry. Now, before we get into it, let's talk about Shawn Michaels' historic career. He is a former WWE champion, former World Heavyweight Champion, Intercontinental Champion, multiple-time tag team champion, a two-time WWE Hall of Famer, and the title of Mr. WrestleMania. Now, Shawn Michaels, we know that he won his first WWE Championship back in 1996 at WrestleMania 12, where he would defeat Bret Hart to win the WWE Championship. But 2 years after that, he suffered a back injury at the Royal Rumble 1998 casket match when he was defending the WWE Championship against The Undertaker. With that being said, Shawn Michaels had a fall in one part in the match that you saw in the beginning. That was the beginning of the end of Shawn Michaels. Unfortunately, he wrestled with a busted back at WrestleMania 14 when he lost the title to Stone Cold Steve Austin. He will be out of commission for 4 years, early retirement, but he will return in 2002, and of course until his retirement of singles competition in 2010. Well, in that, Shawn Michaels, he was in a lot of pain. He talks about this in an interview. Mick Foley talked about it, and also we have a doctor speak about a herniated disc, because Shawn Michaels suffered 2 herniated discs. So that was brutal for Shawn Michaels. He was in a lot of pain. He was on a lot of medication, but we'll hear more about it here.
WrestleMania 14, specifically you climbing the top rope in insurmountable pain. I mean, the pain on your face just says it all before you deliver that elbow drop on Steve Austin. And I've always wondered, and I always wanted to ask you, was WrestleMania 14 the most difficult day at the office for you?
Yeah. I mean, pretty much. I mean, I was not in a good place physically, obviously, but, also mentally. I mean, but, it was, it was just bad all around. And, it was the culmination of a lot of things, a lot of bad things. And, I always like to, I'd love to tell everybody like, I just fake and I fooled everybody, but, no, it was a pretty rough day at the office, to say the very least. And it's funny. I guess I never. I don't know. I guess because I was in such a horrible place at that time, I guess I never really envisioned people like really grasping the fact that, like, holy cow, man, that guy. I don't care if I don't like him. That dude's beating the heck out of himself, and he's not in any shape to be doing that. I was never really sure. I mean, over time, I understand it. People now get it, but certainly when you're doing it, you don't realize, people are sort of uncomfortable watching you go through that while you're doing it.
Was there obviously when you're in front of the crowd, there's that adrenaline, but what about after the adrenaline dump? I mean, after the match, can you just paint the picture of the last day? Here you are after, going through the curtain for the last time at that time, and the pain you were experiencing with that back injury.
Well, I got to tell you, I mean, I always, I feel like I need to tell people all the time that, I was in a lot of physical pain, but honestly, I am an emotional guy by nature. And so, honestly, the mental and emotional pain I was in far exceeded the physical at that time. I mean, honestly, the physical didn't set in until I got home. I mean, because I was just so, for lack of better words, I was really pissed off. And so, I mean, I came storming out of that match when I got back, and I was a disruption backstage, and I think I was even a disruption going to the airport the next day. You know what I mean? And I was totally ignoring the physical. I went on adrenaline for probably the next 48 hours. And then, then the realization of it being over in a lot of ways. for me settled in, and that's when the physical pain, really had the opportunity to set in, and it wasn't fun. I mean, I always felt, one of those things that, you almost sometimes want to have a camera, when to let people understand the experience you went through, because it was miserable. Gosh, this is so depressing. But I mean, it was miserable physically and mentally, and it just was not, as they say, a dark time.
Of course, as everyone recalls, Shawn gets hurt during the casket match with The Undertaker, and that's obviously going to throw a big monkey wrench into the plans. Did you know that he got hurt that night, or did you just hear about it after the fact?
Just heard about it afterwards.
Did you see the bump? I mean,
Yeah.
Here's
Got thrown over the top rope, clipped the casket.
On the edge.
Yeah, it was lower back, right?
Yep. It's boy, I hate to make this comparison because it sounds awful, but in NASCAR, I'm not a big NASCAR fan, but you've seen, like, even on SportsCenter, these over-the-top, unbelievable car crashes, and seemingly most of the time, the guys somehow, through the grace of God, just walk away unscathed. But then we would see Dale Earnhardt's crash, and that doesn't look nearly
like much, right?
And he's gone.
Gone, yeah.
And I think this bump is something where it's like, wait a minute, if somebody's going to get hurt, it's going to be you being thrown off and landing on the concrete, but just landing on the casket. Don't get me wrong, I'm not questioning whether or not it was a legitimate injury. I'm just making the comparison.
It's the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Yes.
So
it's the accumulation.
It's the accumulation.
Yes.
So, I'd lost in 2004, for example. I lost the 60 big ones. I started 6 months earlier at 330, got myself down to 270. Felt really good. Had that epic match with Randy Orton at Backlash, May 2004. And then 3 days later, I'm watching my children play at a water table, children's Fisher-Price water table. I try to get up out of my chair, and I can't stand.
My goodness.
So it was just a ligament giving way that had been hanging on by a thread. So same analogy to Shawn. It's the straw that breaks the camel's back. It's not that one bump. It's that one bump capping off decades. At that point, not decades, 15 years. Shawn had been around since 84, 85. Hard worker, bump taker extraordinaire, and it was his back way of saying, hey, we're out here.
Hello, I'm Dr. Mohammed Biden, a neurosurgeon at Mayo Clinic. In this video, we'll cover the basics of disc herniation. What is it? Who gets it? The symptoms, diagnosis, and treatment. Whether you're looking for answers for yourself or someone you love, we're here to give you the best information available. Your spine is a stack of bones, known as vertebra. In between these bones are small, rubbery discs that act as cushions. They have a soft, jelly-like center or nucleus that is encased by a tougher, rubbery exterior. Sometimes, the exterior of these rubbery discs can tear, and the soft inside slips out. This results in a herniated disc, also known as a slip disc or ruptured disc. This disc injury can irritate nearby nerves, causing pain, numbness, or weakness in an arm or leg. Many people with a slip disc never experience symptoms, and surgery is rarely required to fix the problem. Nonetheless, there are a range of treatments available to help those who suffer pain or discomfort from a herniated disc. In most cases, a slip disc happens because of wear and tear, something known as disc degeneration as you age. Your discs become less flexible and are more prone to tears and ruptures. Most people cannot identify the cause of their herniated disc. It can happen from using your back muscles instead of your leg and thigh muscles to lift a heavy object, or from awkwardly twisting and turning. That said, there are other factors outside of your age that can increase your risk of slipping a disc. Being overweight increases the strain on the discs in your lower back. Some people may be genetically predisposed to rupturing a disc, working a physically demanding job, and smoking can decrease the oxygen supply to your disc, causing it to degenerate more rapidly. possible to have a herniated disc without having any symptoms. This happens to a lot of people. They may first learn about a herniated disc while undergoing tests for a different issue. Slipped discs can trigger a few classic symptoms. Arm or leg pain, often described as a sharp or shooting pain. Pain in your buttocks, thighs, calf, even your foot. Numbness or tingling. Your exact symptoms depend on where the herniated disc is located, whether it's pressing on a nerve. Talking to a doctor about the pain that you're experiencing is always a smart move. Your doctor will usually be able to tell if you have a herniated disc by conducting a physical exam, asking about your medical history. They may ask you to lie flat, move your legs into various positions. They may also check your reflexes, muscle strength, walking ability, see if you can feel light touch, pinprick, vibration. If your doctor thinks another condition is causing the pain, or needs to see which nerves are being affected by the slipped disc, they may order one or more of the following: an X-ray, a CAT scan, an MRI, rarely a myelogram. Your medical team may perform a nerve test, like a nerve conduction study or an EMG, to help pinpoint the location of the nerve damage. More often than not, watching your movement and taking pain medication relieves symptoms for most people. Over-the-counter pain relievers like acetaminophen, ibuprofen, naproxen are great options for mild to moderate pain. If your pain is severe, your doctor might recommend a cortisone injection or muscle relaxers. In rare cases, opioids may be prescribed for a short period of time when other treatments have not worked. Physical therapy can also help manage pain with positions, stretches, and exercises designed to minimize the discomfort caused by a herniated disc. Few people with a slipped disc ever need surgery, but when it's necessary, surgeons may perform what's known as a discectomy. This may be done in an open manner or in a minimally invasive manner. The protruding portion of the disc is removed. Sometimes, in cases of spinal instability, a bone graft is needed, where the vertebrae are fused together with metal hardware. In rare circumstances, a surgeon may implant an artificial disc to replace the herniated one. If you think you have a herniated disc, talk to your doctor. Come prepared. Try to figure out when your symptoms started, how you may have injured it, and what, if anything, helps improve your symptoms. Back injuries are incredibly common. Thankfully, most people find a way to manage their pain and are able to return to normal activity in no time.
That's all I have regarding Shawn Michaels. Talks about retirement. We are talking about Shawn Michaels, who had a back injury that caused him to retire in 1998 for 4 years. We heard from himself. We heard from Mick Foley and Mayo Clinic. Shout out to them talking about the herniated disc and the whole process behind it. So you guys let me know, what did you think about when Shawn Michaels was forced to early retirement in 1998? And then, of course, he did return. That's a good thing. But the back is nothing to play with. Soon to reveal a pop-up, guys. You guys already know what it is. It's OUT.